And if you die with student loans, there are programs, your children or the heirs of your estate could get a lien placed against them to pay for your student loans. Listen, that's a real big hammer to hold over somebody's head.
Right.
I personally like, nah. So you get your student loans, you take out your loans when you graduate from college, you get a job, and before you buy your first Lexus or your first BMW, you might need to pay off your debts. That's how I feel. That's what I preach. Okay. So I'm talking to somebody who waited till later in life to go to school.
Oh.
Took out student loans to get. She has a degree in something that, even I remember talking to her like, why are you doing this? What's the average median income for this particular career? Oh, well, after 15 years, halfway through, you might be able to make up to 60. 15 years in a.
You say you make up the difference?
No, you could make up to 60.
Oh, shit, like I can.
Yeah.
Okay,
the median income. So after 15 years in this occupation, you can make up to 60 a year. I'm like, what? Who? Personally, this is me. Who the hell takes out student loan for a job that's gonna pay 60 a year after 15 years? And it's not like you are 20 years old. So by the time you 35, you'll be making 60 a year. That's your plan. You took out student loans so that by the time you get to be 35, you'll be making 60 a year.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all.
Do the math.
Because when you think about it in most cases, and most let's say what it is, most ladies, because when you think about these student loans, the biggest group of people who's going to benefit from student loans is going to be women.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and level set.
Okay, go ahead.
So right now in America, as of, I think the last time I saw the statistic was June 2020, there is $1.8 trillion in student loan debt.
With a T, right? Trillion.
Oh,
okay.
Trillion. I mean, like trillion.
Not billion, but trillion.
And of that $1.8 trillion in student loans,
okay,
women, females, ladies, people with ovaries account for 1.2 trillion of that 1.8. Pretty much 66% of all student loans are held by ladies, women, female, whatever you want to call it. And of the other 600 billion, and it's a lot, it's held by men. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, rolling with that. What's not actually being talked about though is, for me, which one, this is even before we get to the forgiveness portion.
Okay.
Because I couldn't understand, why would you take out student loan debt for a certain degree courses? Like, why would you take out a student loan to get a degree in interior design, or a student loan to get a degree to be an English major, or I don't, it's just a lot of courses like women's studies. Why would you who in their right mind would get a degree, a PhD in women's study?
Yeah.
You're a woman.
Right.
Why do you need to study yourself that much?
Yeah, you think about it, because they'll go for the highest degree if possible, get a PhD or get a doctor, so they can be called doctor.
But it also has another side to that.
What's that?
While you're in school, you don't have to pay back those loans.
Of course not.
So you keep increasing your debt to get the higher title and the higher degree. At one point or another, you hit the wall, and you have to eventually start paying your debt.
And believe me, some people I know, their student loans is like $800 a month. Forget their regular.
God.
Forget their regular. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, right.
I felt that in my chest.
You felt that, huh?
I felt that.
Yeah, forget your rent or mortgage you're paying.
Mm-hmm.
And what most people do, they'll go back then.
Which, and I know about deferrals. Why would you defer something that still acquires interest? Are you not smart? You can defer it for X amount of time, but interest still accrues. And interest on student loans is 7% and up. This ain't a 1.2% interest loan. This is like 7%, 9%, 11%. Excuse me. heck are you doing?
Let's be clear too. Just want to throw it out there because maybe a lot of people didn't know this. I didn't know this, but I did learn about this. At one point in time in history, and not too long ago, you were able to go to college, rank up all this money and debt and all, and then once you graduate, you know what you can do? It's called Chapter 11. You could file Chapter 11 in bankruptcy and clear all that debt, have your PhD, doctorate degree, bachelor's, whatever, and start a fresh new life in your career with zero debt.
Wow.
But there was a president, or he wasn't president at the time, but the guy, he sounds very familiar. His name is Joe Biden.
Oh,
Biden.
I heard this guy.
Yeah.
Did I vote for him recently?
Listen, this is our current president right now, but before he became president, out of other many things he did, he was the one who helped wrote the law where you can still file Chapter 11, but guess what? We still need our money for your student loans.
Wow. I truthfully didn't know that.
I didn't know that neither, Mike.
Wow. Okay.
So on top of the crime bill and everything else, Biden has not been doing a lot of good things for people across the board, okay? Because, and it's funny when you think about it more deeper, it's all about, it's still continuation of slavery. You like slavery? How we talking about slavery and we talking about student loan forgiveness?
Economic slavery.
There you go. What they teach you in school? They teach you to go to school, get your education, go to college, get a job, and live the American dream.
Yep.
That's it. But the real American dream is being an entrepreneur, running your own business, not having debt. Because when you go to school and take the loans out, that's debt you're going to have to pay off regardless. You cannot defer it. You can defer it for so long, but
and those interest rates,
the money, they want their money. I don't care. You be going to school for the rest of your life until you die, but guess what? That money going to go towards someone else going to pick it up. If you have a house and if your loan amount is more than your house, buy a house. So the house you love for your kids to get to them.
Well, but still, even the better part of that, if you default on your house, the bank comes and get the house. Yeah. You don't have anywhere to live, but you're free. Get out the house.
Exactly.
Your credit messed up. They can't come back and take your education back.
Right.
Sorry.
So when you think about the student loan forgiveness, this thing runs deeper than it needs to be. That's why you never see, growing up in high school or you in college, you never saw these entrepreneurs who went to college or who did not go to college but make millions and billions of dollars. They don't bring them into school to tell kids, here's what you need to do to be successful in life. No. They want you to go to school because they want you in the system to get the student loans be in debt. Think about this real quick. If you were looking to go ahead and open up a brand new job or you want to fund the business, you need like $20,000. That's it. I need $20,000. I can do lawn care, get 10 lawnmowers, a rider, weed whacker, storage unit. All these $20,000, I'll get the money back within 4 or 5 years. Business plan right out and everything, right? You go to the bank, they're like, no, you don't have enough credit, whatever. Cancel, no, you don't get it.
Yep.
But at the age of 18, 17, 16, whatever, because some people go to school really young because they're really smart. Kudos to them. They will approve you for over $100,000 loan for school before they approve you $20,000 to start your own business. And now, look, we are now. It's 2020. They're talking about student loan forgiveness plan. Everyone's excited because guess what? A lot of people are in debt. Not me. I'm telling you what it is. I went to a school called, I went through a program called Job Corps. They paid for me to go to community college. I got a free degree. Simple as that.
Exactly.
I don't have student loans. I think I think I had like $3,000 I owed total. That's all I owed. So with that being said, the student loans it sounds good to everybody, but it's not really good for everybody.
Well, I want to like saying, I'm always trying to throw out stats, facts, and figures that you can go and research. If you can call me on it, feel free. I don't have any problem with feedback if something I'm saying is wrong. But here's the thing. So, in addition, what you just said made me think about people not even thinking about this school to job or work pathway that the funnel that they're on. When I was in high school, we had home ec, we had wood shop. We actually had an auto mechanic course in my school building, high school. So you could come out of high school literally having not a certification, but an understanding of how cars worked. When I came out of high school, I was in AP computer science in high school. So no, I was not a certified A+ technician, but before I graduated from high school, I could put together a computer from boxed parts and have a functioning computer and reconcile all the problems and configure the entire computer.
Right.
This is high school. This is well before I tried to go to college. Wood shop. You know, I knew how to use a wood press and a jigsaw and all this because I had high school teachers that taught me how to use it. Now, I even took driver's ed, by the way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, they don't teach you anything in school that'll help you, quote unquote, get a job or take care of yourself.
Yeah, you cannot come out. You cannot come out straight out of high school and get a career doing manual labor. You have to go to a college or a technical school to get a degree.
To get what they used to give you in high school.
Which people got free back in the day.
Exactly. And so think about that. Elementary school doesn't prepare you to take care of yourself. Of course, it's elementary school. But think about the fundamentals you learned in elementary school. High school does not prepare you to take care of yourself. You're up to 18 years old and you don't even know how to change a tire on a car.
I'll tell you this, what high school does, it prepares you to go to college.
It prepares you to go to college.
To get in debt.
To get in, and then you get to college, and if anyone wants to do the math, you can feel free to research it. These for-profit colleges, you know, it used to be at least you could go to a community college, DeKalb Technical, Atlanta Metro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
ITT Tech,
yeah, you could go to those community colleges. And if you could go to Georgia State, I'm from Georgia, by the way, anybody guess, UGA or Georgia Tech, Georgia State, you could go to those colleges, right?
Right.
But nowadays, for-profit colleges, now look that up because I don't want to do the homework for everybody listening as an adult. Look up how many for-profit colleges have started up. And you are talking about at this point like DeVry, Everest, Connecticut Online University, the hell ever is that, right? But all of these are for-profit colleges. And then look at the amount of money people have spent at these colleges. Now, and I'm going to say this is where it gets chauvinistic. These colleges are offering courses, and who do you think is jumping head first at getting on some of these programs? Unfortunately, it happens to be the feminine half of our gender.
Ladies.
You know, I'm trying not to say stuff like that, man. So, and I'm still rolling around to the loan forgiveness program. But seriously, I have a niece. She got a degree in phlebotomy. I think that's taking blood or something. Yeah, I know, right?
Taking blood or
phlebotomy.
Or lobotomy, the one.
No. Phlebotomy. I think because that's the people who come in and take blood and stick needles in. Oh, okay. I didn't know they had a separate course for that.
If she did the other one, where it's, when people die, that would be a good job because people gonna die and people.
You have to bring up the beer virus like that, bro. That's cold.
I was. I continue. I was not going towards the. No, I ain't gonna say it. Go ahead, continue.
But still, she took out student loans to go to a 8 month program at one of these.
That's so you can take blood.
Mm-hmm. She took out loans. I think she took out like $17,000 in loans for an 8 month program. Guess what she does right now? Ooh. It's something you should be ashamed to say, but it's obvious.
What? Customer service? McDonald's?
Drive Uber.
Driving Uber is not that bad if it's a side hustle.
No, driving Uber is bad when you went to school for something else. I'm not knocking the Uber driver, but if you went to school, you took out student loans to do something else, and you driving for Uber, you might have made a bad decision somewhere along the line.
Listen.
Just saying.
I had a supervisor back in my early days of working who had a master's degree.
Wow.
Master's degree. Mm-hmm. And he was a supervisor for a customer service company.
What did he have a master's degree in?
I want to say it's psychological, something like that. But my thing is this, though. Okay. He said he realized it's not something he wanted to do. Mm-hmm. associates. Well, first certificate, associates, bachelors, and then masters, right? Bachelors and masters? Yeah. So you went through all levels doing the same thing, getting more harder and getting more knowledge on it, just to realize, I don't know if I want to do this for the rest of my life. But guess what? All that money you accumulated while taking them courses and going to school, guess what? He was paying those back.
I had a supervisor that had I had a supervisor with an art history degree. I work for a tech company. You have a degree. How are you my supervisor? You have a degree in art history. How does that translate through to, and honestly, you making enough money in the quote unquote tech field to have paid your student loans, but your degree says art history.
Right.
Art history has literally zilch to do with what you actually do. Right?
Right.
I had another, I was talking to one dude, now this a guy, now the art history major, of course, was a woman, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I like to say smoke today. But I had another dude,
Smoke Sunday.
yeah, who had a degree in culinary arts. He drive trucks long haul.
Wow.
You got a degree in culinary
Cooking
arts.
to driving.
Long haul trucking.
That's total opposite fields of the rainbow, right?
Exactly. Now, you spent thousands of dollars to get a degree in culinary arts. You spent I think at the time, it was only like $2,500 for the course to learn how to drive trucks.
If he can really cook,
I assume he can.
we're down. I'm saying, but people like to eat, so it shouldn't be hard to get a job as a cook anywhere. You can get the experience working at Longhorn or Steakhouse starting out and then move up somewhere else.
No, and I got one more.
Go ahead.
I do have, I also know an older gentleman. He has a degree in dietary nutrition. Last time I heard, he was working at Cisco in the warehouse. Cisco is like a food storage place or whatever. They ship to a lot of major school. I mean, they supply the kitchen and food stuffs to universities and stuff.
Right.
Cisco. And before that, he was a manager at a restaurant. Not a manager at a restaurant looking at $30K a year. I'm not throwing no stones. You making $30K. You got a degree in nutritional science, dietary nutrition, to be a supervisor at McDonald's. It wasn't McDonald's, but McDonald's level.
I get you.
And then you went from there to working in a warehouse. I'm not saying that everybody follows the same career path. I'm saying think about what you want to do. Are you really committed to doing what you want to do? And how much are you going to make doing it before you start signing papers that has your name and your future tied up into paying back money for something you just don't really want to do?
And then all of a sudden you get super excited about student loan forgiveness. And we just watched a video where a dude broke down, there were how many? 30,000 or 300,000?
30,000 requests.
30,000 requests. If it wasn't last year, it was the year before that, 19, whatever. Mm-hmm. And out of those 30,000 requests for student loan forgiveness, only 6 people got approved.
No, 96.
Oh, 96.
Which is still. 0.3% of people.
And they were saying that a lot of applications did not get approved because something wasn't filled out right, per se. You
didn't cross your I's, dot
your
your T's.
But mind you, 30,000 people submitted for student loan forgiveness. 30,000, and only 96 got approved. So what? So I'm sure that money's still sitting somewhere. So where that money at?
They're never gonna do it. And once again, my last little gripe, because I have to say it out loud. The thing is, I learned that even though I do a lot of talking on these particular recordings and shows, a lot of people find it impossible to think beyond what they just heard. So that's why I talk a lot, because if I put it in your head, you'll think about it. But honestly, ladies, the degree, if you notice that they always say men make more money than women, blah, 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 and all of that's crap. But the point being is, I know women personally that have chosen to take the easiest course they can to get something. All of you ladies are smart. All you RNs, CNAs, phlebotomists, you ladies are intelligent. Why didn't you try to be a doctor? I mean, why did you settle for being an RN when you could have been a doctor? Not saying that everybody is that, but these people are not idiots. These are not dummies. You could have done it. Any teacher with the workload that a lot of teachers have, why do women choose to be teachers instead of engineers? Question: Why are so many women choose to be HR managers? Why do you get a degree in human resources instead of getting a degree in economics or computer engineering?
Yeah, I wonder that.
Because it takes about the same amount of mental ability to do these things. But a lot of women congregate in damn job occupations that just don't pay the same. Men go to, you know why I got a degree in computer information systems. Why did you get a degree in computer information systems? I don't know. Maybe because the median income in computer information systems after 15 years on the job is $115K, not 60. 15 years in, I want to be making six plus figures.
But on top of that too, we knew at an early age that technology is always growing. Because I also have a degree in computer information as well, technology. So we come from the same cloth because technology is growing. So that's constantly money. And even with the job that I do, I'm still in a technical field doing technical things. So I'm not doing something totally different from what I went to school for. You understand?
Exactly. I mean,
regardless, maybe I couldn't come in the door as an IT professional, but I got into a company and got on the technical side and climbed the technical side chart to get to where I'm at now.
Exactly. So I'm just saying.
Has to start somewhere, right?
So we're about to finally, after 25 minutes, finally get into the student loan forgiveness portion. But once again, ladies, for real. I'm not calling anybody dumb. Lord knows I've realized that my intelligence is nowhere near what I used to think it was. But STEM pays the bills. Long haul trucking, you don't even need a degree to do that. Electricians,
and they
plumbers,
pay they pay for training. Pay training.
Exactly. Electricians, plumbers, mechanics,
Pay training.
HVAC, airline mechanics. You don't need a college degree to become an airline mechanic. And all of these jobs pay six figures plus if you do it long enough and you dedicate yourself to it. But a lot of people will go get these degrees and they want to be social workers, HR reps, administrative assistants, teachers. Everybody needs teachers, but what's the average salary of a teacher in any given metro area? Average salary of a teacher, $45,000, maybe even $55,000. What's the average salary of a computer programmer in the same city with the same number of years in that occupation? It's not even a joke.
Quadruple.
It's not even a joke.
Not even close.
And so now we get down to the student loan forgiveness portion. Okay. So I chose the same choice you had, to go to school. I chose to take the course that I thought would be beneficial to me long term, same as you. I got my student loans debt the same as you. I made a plan to pay off my student loan debt. You didn't. I don't owe the government money anymore. I don't owe any banks any money anymore for my education. You still do. How is that fair for you to get forgiven when you made the decision to not budget out how you would pay for what you were going to do? How is disregard? I don't want to hear anybody talking about you might have got sick, you got personal issues. We're not talking about those people. I'm talking about healthy individuals who have lived their life, who have lived their best life, still talking about I got student loan debt. Because why are you living your best life when you owe somebody money? You got anything to say before I go ride off into the sunset?
Here's the keys. Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, but seriously. So, I mean, I'm not throwing the stone, but $1.8 trillion in debt. Cool. Men are choosing occupations that pay their debts. Men pay off their student loans at a higher rate than women do. That's statistically true.
And, yes. And in most cases, they could be out there, but for most men, we don't really defer our loans. We like to pay them get it out. I mean,
and for most, and once again, there's always exceptions. God knows,
yeah, it's
don't
always
be like,
exceptions,
it ain't
but,
no
but
blanket
but
statements.
I know more women than men who defer loans and continue deferring, going back to school, still deferring. No, I just think I defer maybe one time, but then I'll still pay because I know I need to pay it off, and it wasn't much money because I made sure not to set myself up for that.
And honestly, I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna throw this out. This is not part of this conversation, but it's germane to the topic. The same kind of people who defer their student loans are the same people who, at the beginning of this beer virus, deferred their home payments, knowing full well that those payments were due. So watch at the end of this month when the program ends. Watch what happens. The same people who were like, I just want to defer my mortgage payments for 6 months. Now you owe for reasons totally observable. You might not have paid mortgage since March. It's December. That's 9 months. If you didn't have, quote unquote, excuse me for putting real numbers out, let's say 1,000. If you didn't have $1,000 to pay on your mortgage in March, where in the living flipping French toast are you going to get $9,000 in January?
Well, $9,000 in January plus February's. So,
okay. Once again, so this is what happens when you defer stuff. So that's why I've never bothered to defer. I will eat ramen noodles and sit on a car. I would sit on the floor on a blanket watching my TV on a crate before I defer paying back somebody. Pay your damn bills before you try to live your best life.
Yeah, I saw that. I had that option plenty of times to defer my mortgage. I'm like, no. I'm blessed right now to have a job, and as I'm still working, I'm gonna keep paying that. Mm-hmm. Because now if something would happen, then I could use that, but I still wouldn't want to. But I know people for a fact because they could do it. They didn't have to do it, but because they could do it, they did it anyway, so they could live the best life. Oh, I'm gonna spend this, spend that. You still need that money for your mortgage because they want that money.
Exactly.
So yeah. So it's what? So January is when it ends.
December 31st.
Oh, so they're not extended no more.
I heard today that no, they haven't. You think with Donald Trump still in office and Mitch McConnell as firmly against it, and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer weak ass leadership, you think this is gonna get deferred? If they defer, it'll be at the last minute. Just right now, you should totally expect to pay your bills in January.
Hopefully,
you should expect.
Hopefully, people are saving because hopefully you're not doing what? Taking more loans out to pay another debt.
But once again,
more debt again.
Exactly, and it sounds all what. So I'm still on the student loan deferral. But once again, it's all there. It's a mentality. You took out loans, and I'm gonna go in on women on this. Here go the smoke for me.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna say women. What did you plan on doing with your life? Right now, that's the other part that really gets on my nerves. What did you plan on doing with your life? Right. So let's say you are a 20-year-old woman. Now let's say you're an 18-year-old woman. You went to college. You couldn't afford. You took classes. Yeah, you got your degree. You took out student loans. Did you plan on getting married? If you got married, did you plan on working the whole time you were married? If you planned on working the whole time you were married, what you wanted to do about kids? Because it's hard to devote yourself to your career and be a good mom. Some of y'all think y'all can do it, and it don't work out that well. So you took out student loans, you got out of college, you made babies, and now you 30 years old, you got a kid, maybe two, if you lucky. Because let's be honest, not a lot of y'all getting married right now. But if you lucky, you got married, you done made babies, and life happens. Life happens. When were you going to find time to pay back these student loans in the course of buying a house, raising kids, trying to be a good wife, and let's add the cuss word, living your best life? When were you going to pay back what you owed? And then you roll around once again, I need to loan forgiveness. That doesn't sound right to me. It don't sit right to me because my plan included paying back my student loans. Just thought.
No, that wasn't the plan. I mean, It was the plan to go to school and get the grades and all that, and have a family, have kids, all that.
Sounds right.
But-
Sounds like my plan.
But they really didn't plan out what's going to happen for those 5 years or 6 years, because you don't want to do daycare. Who's going to pay those student loans?
Yeah, who's going to pay those debts?
Because they need to be paid.
Because you just said a cuss word, $800 a month in student loans.
$800 a month on student loans.
What's 8 times 12? 8 times 12. That's $9,600 a year,
Yeah,
right?
almost just 10,000. Round it up
$10,000 a year
on student loans
in student loans.
on top of your rent or mortgage, whatever you got going on.
So if you $800 a month, that's $200 a week. $200 a week divided by 5, that's like $40 a day, right? $40 a day. Do the math. I'm an analyst. This
Well,
is
you
what
know
I
what?
do.
You said $45 a day.
$40 a day.
Then that would make sense why somebody does Uber.
Let's say, let's say you make how much? What's the minimum? I mean, what's a good salary? Not even a good salary. What's a random salary that you might make an hour nowadays
You mean like
for
new
an average person?
for shit?
I mean,
I mean, maybe 35.
dollars an hour?
Oh no, I'm talking about 35,000 a year.
No. I mean, I'm still on the day point.
I mean, right now, I think I saw this like Target was hiring $15 an hour.
$15 an hour. Let's do that.
Okay,
So if you got to pay $40 a day
a day.
on your student loan, and you make $15 an hour, 2.5 hours of your day, of every hour, every day you work, 2.5 hours is just gone. You didn't. So you actually only working 5.5 hours to pay the rest of your bills at $800. That at $40 a day to pay your student loan.
Yeah,
Like,
that
so-
sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, see, a lot of people don't. It don't sound bad when you just put. It's just a big old number off in the universe. Okay, let's break it down to daily.
Listen. When I was going to school I was actually planning to go to the school. I was in Pittsburgh. I want to say it's called PTI, Pittsburgh Technical Institute, right? Mm-hmm. And I think I was going for web design at that time frame, and the amount of money that I was going to take out to go to that school, I think it was like $50,000 per year. Mm-hmm. I was like, nah, because I'm not got to pay it back. I knew at that time frame, like, nah, I'm not doing it.
No, I'm not.
Not doing that. Not doing that. Not doing that.
I'm not doing. I mean, listen.
I mean, because I know student loans you have to pay back. See,
Exactly.
I take that consideration. So back when I was 18, 19, I knew when I take a loan, I got to pay the money back. I knew that.
Right. I don't even want to get into how broke I was for years. I honestly, if I could pay it, I would pay it. Period. I don't care. I was working full time at a warehouse going to school, living with my mother. Okay, I'm living at home with my mom, working full time at a warehouse. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, your fees this month. Your fees are $800 for this semester. Where am I gonna get $800 from? Oh, $800 is pretty much 25 hours of overtime on Saturday and Sunday. Guess where my monkey ass was at? 20. I might have to do 20 Saturday and Sunday for the month. I can pay these fees if I do an additional 40 hours of overtime for this month. Listen to the burden I put on myself. 40 freaking hours of overtime.
On the weekend.
Because I still got school and I still got to study. Ed, what you doing on Saturday?
Working.
Yeah, I mean, but when I get off, we can hang. What you doing on Sunday? Well, I can't hang out all night on Sunday because I got to clock back in Sunday morning. Why? Because if I pay it now, if I break my back now, I ain't got to pay interest on that $800 either though. That's living your best life. All that good stuff. It sounds great.
Yeah, I was definitely one of those kids who was working while I was in college. So I couldn't. I regret it because I didn't really get a chance to experience everything I wanted to experience in college. I still had fun, but I couldn't really do stuff because I had to work.
Yes.
School Monday through Friday. Well, yeah, school Monday through Friday, and even during the week, some days I had like one class a day.
Exactly.
On Wednesday, I worked, but then on Saturday and Sunday, where everybody's partying, playing basketball, whatever. We going, Wayne? I gotta go to work. Gotta pay his car note. Gotta pay his credit card because I spent $500 on books that
Exactly.
was a waste of money.
Exactly. And so I'm still talking about it. All of that is the prices. This is the final couple sentences. We get into the end here. At the end of the day, I paid the price to get my education. I paid the price for that.
Yes, you did.
We did. If they offer us some student loan forgiveness, I have a couple questions. A, how much? I'm good with that. How much? B, what do I get if I don't have student loans? Because I paid the price to have my education. I paid the price to not owe people money. I paid my debts. Now, if you're just giving out money, I don't think it's fair that you give out to somebody who deferred their junk for the last 10 years versus somebody who paid their junk off in 5 years. I don't think it's fair. I can't support that. And if you do that, once again, if they do student loan, if they just blankets forgive the student loans, and I'm going to say this, I will never vote Democrat again, ever. I will never. Especially since I'm a black man in America, straight up black man in America. I want my reparations before you start giving other people free money. I want my granddaddy and great granddaddy and great great granddaddies and great 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 granddaddies back overtime. Okay? So you pay me reparations. Now we can start talking about some free student loan, but giving people free money to go to school to get degrees that they never planned on paying back in the first place, or they're struggling to pay back, everybody grown. Ain't nobody made no childish decisions. You walk right up in there. They told you how much it was. You signed the papers. You took the money, and a lot of y'all took that student loan money and took your butt right to Cancun or Panama City, and you lived your best life. You got the full, quote unquote, as my niece told me one time, college experience. You enjoyed your college experience, and now you driving Uber. Now, this ain't the same need, but you know what I'm saying.
I know.
You driving Uber talking about I can't afford to pay for you. You cashed a check. You spent the money. I'm sorry. I can't sign off on just randomly giving you money.
I know some people went to a certain college just so they can say I went to this college for a name.
Yes, I know a lot of people.
They didn't really go for the education. They went to say, hey, I went to Ohio State. Oh, I went to Michigan State. Oh, I went to the U. All for the name. But then
Arizona State, we rocking Arizona. Alabama, they got the best football team. Is that why you went? For real?
And then they sitting looking like, oh yeah, I went to the U, but I'm your supervisor.
Yeah.
Getting paid $20 an hour on salary. So it's not really hourly. Okay. But yeah, that's all I got for student loan forgiveness. For me personally, I don't care for it, but it kind of makes sense when you said, well, I pay mine off, so do I get something for it too? Because I could have easily kept deferring it.
You know what? A few months, the reason, once again, I really didn't care about it, but we had this conversation. But a few weeks ago, we did a conversation about Ice Cube.
Uh-huh.
And he was talking about the contract with America. And some of the women on Fox Soul, I think that was Vivica Fox and Lisa Ray, they went in on Ice Cube.
They did.
The specific reason I bring this up, is because Vivica Fox or Lisa Ray, one of these specifically said, what's in it for black women? That's what they came at Cube, and they made Cube try to explain the fact that what's good for black people is good for black women. They weren't hearing that. They weren't trying to hear that. Okay? So they went in on Cube for trying to help black people because there wasn't anything specifically in it for women. So I'm going to say that I don't care about black men and women. I ain't talking about men and women. If you have student loan debt, that's you. What's in it for me as a person, not black man, as a person who doesn't have student loan debt? What's in it for me to forgive your loan? And
just saying, well, you got no debt. That's not an excuse. No. No, I went to college.
Yeah.
But I pay myself off. But what's in it for me?
I don't care what's good for America, because what's good in the contract with Black America was good for black people.
But they weren't trying to hear
They weren't trying to hear. They wanted to know specifically what was in it for black women. I want to know specifically what's in it for me to forgive the student loan debt, because if you ain't cutting me a check for $10K just because I got a loan that I paid off. You know, everybody who ever had a loan, just pay that junk off and give them some money. But if you ain't gonna do that, then no, I can't sign off on no part of this. Because I've already stated my whole case. That I will stand by that argument in the face of anybody who happened to hear this and got some smoke to bring or say. At this point, what's in it for me as a person, not a black man, as a person in America that does not have student loans? What's in it for me to forgive your expenditure of that money? That's my case. I rest it.
Well, on that note, people, I have nothing to follow up on that. But if you do have any questions, concerns, comments, in the comment section, I have our social medias. So if you want to get at us, leave a comment, whatever, like, dislike, doesn't matter, but just chop it up with us.
Yeah,
and we out.
It up. I hope. Peace, everybody, but bring it back if you want it.
If you want to smoke.
Hey.
If you want to smoke, come back.
Yes, sir.
All right.